So you'd love to enjoy the upcoming holiday season somewhere far away from home, to see the famous German Christmas markets, sunbathe at a tropical beach paradise, or spend New Year's Eve watching the fireworks at the Sydney Harbour Bridge. Yet everywhere you want to go is already booked solid, or it feels financially out of reach. If that's you, I'm about to blow your mind with how you can not only make traveling over the holiday season possible, I'm going to show you how to make money while traveling all at once. Welcome to Hexotica, where we're all about intentionally crafting self-reliant AF, freedom-filled alternative lifestyles on our own terms. I'm your host, online marketing mentor, Christine Rice, and this is episode 20. Hey Cygnets, welcome back to the world of Hexotica, where we outgrow our ugly duckling fears and imposter syndromes to become beautiful online empire swans. That's what we're here to do. And today I'm going to be sharing a money-making hack with you that's going to make your holiday season pay you. Now, if you've been listening to Hexotica for a while, this hack is not going to be new, but I'm going to be going into a lot more detail about why it's so good around the holiday season. And as I record this, we're in November. So this is the time to be thinking about this particular alternative lifestyle money-making hack. Yeah. And if this is a new episode for you, welcome. This little money-making hack is going to blow your mind because it's going to allow you to dream up ways to have location and financial freedom in ways that you may not have ever thought possible. And this all comes from my personal experience. So that's what I have in store for you today. And I'm very excited. And first of all, although I need to apologize because in the past 2 episodes, I said that this episode was going to be a gothy digital nomad entrepreneur's interview. Well, sorry about that. Because of ADHD, probably on both sides, that interview didn't happen in time. So I've now moved that to the 30th episode. And we're just going to roll ahead with more money-making episodes for the next few because we're coming into that season when people do need more money for their gift giving to get through the season, to enjoy all those holiday parties, those Christmas parties and Christmas dinners and get-togethers and the champagne and the cocktails and possibly the vacations, right? So we're going to talk money for the next few episodes. But I am excited to tell you that in the search for someone else to interview, I have got in contact with so many amazing, creative, neurodivergent, witchy, gothy entrepreneurs. And some of them have their own podcast. So I'm really, really looking forward to having those interviews all lined up so that we will not miss having an interview on the every 10th episode, which is what I originally planned, but that plan didn't work out. So here we are today. We're going to be talking about this amazing money-making hack. I want to talk first about one of the differences between the US and Australia when it comes to holiday seasons that you might find interesting, because as some of you might know, I'm an American who has lived in Australia for 25 years. I'm a dual citizen. So I'm kind of more Australian at this point, technically, because I've been here longer than I was in the US. But one of the things that is a big difference is how over the holiday season here in Australia, everything shuts down. Like it actually shuts down. It's actually a holiday. Australians, if you're listening to this, I cannot emphasize the difference enough with how retail is so different in these two countries. Where I grew up in Atlanta, shops were open 7 days a week, and on any night of the week, you could find many shops that were open until midnight. Malls were always open on weekends, and I can't remember. I think it's like 9 or 10 o'clock on even weekday nights, right? It's been a long time since I've been there, but that's what I remember. It was very easy to go shopping any night of the week, even very late, but especially around Christmas time. And then the other thing is that Americans typically get only 2 weeks holiday. Okay. That's what I grew up with. That's what is normal for most Americans. In Australia, Only around Christmas do the shops stay open later than 5 o'clock. And on Thursdays and Fridays here, we have what we call late night shopping, where the malls will be open until 9 p.m. So that's normal. Everything closes exactly 5 except for Thursdays and Fridays, right? At 5 p.m. So even on the weekends, on Saturdays, and especially on Sundays, everything shuts at 5 p.m. It's dead at 5 p.m. Now, around Christmas time, things do start staying open later. So that's a big difference between the shopping that happens in these two countries. But when it comes to vacation time, it is literally like night and day. In Australia, most people here get 4 weeks paid holiday, right? And they typically like to take those holidays in January. So January is a very interesting month to be in Australia because it's Christmas time over summer here. And then January is our summer. So everyone takes off in January. In January, a lot of, especially white collar workers, are off for the entire month, or that's when they do their big vacations, right? So when I worked for 10 years in fashion and jewelry wholesale. Wholesale shops were completely closed the entire month of January. So I would always go home for Christmases and stay for several weeks and not come back until February. And then when I became a social media manager, that of course didn't matter as much, but that was typical for most Australians. They would go and do their overseas holidays over Christmas or in January. So it's a very different kind of landscape. And I just want to set that up because even though I'm going to be talking about this money-making hack in Australia here, and that's how I've been doing it here in Australia, it will allow Americans who get those measly, ridiculous 2 weeks off if you're employed, an idea of what's possible if you don't have that time off, but you do have a remote job, and especially if you're working for yourself. So that's a little bit of a difference that I wanted to talk about. Please tell me if you enjoy hearing about the differences between America and Australia, because I have so much more that I could share on it. And I would love to share those differences with you if you are interested. So let me know. All right. So let's get into today's topic, which is how to make money while we're traveling. And so if you've listened to previous episodes, you know what I'm going to talk about. We're talking about house and pet sitting. And it is such an enjoyable way to make money while you are traveling over the holidays. And although you've heard me talk about pet sitting before, I'm going to share some entirely new money-making ideas and opportunities around it when it comes to the holiday angle, especially that you might not have heard before, because it's a massively in-demand service that is more in demand over the holidays than at any other time of year. So you could be missing out on a really fun way to either earn some extra cash or to have a free vacation stay, right? Now is the time to look into the opportunities before it's too late. Now being November for those listening or watching this at any later date. Now or even earlier, really, because you want to book in for January in Australia or earlier. I found when I was a full-time pet sitter that sometimes people would contact me 6 months ahead of when they were going overseas, because it takes a long time to plan an overseas vacation, right? Usually people who are onto it will book their flights and make their plans to go overseas up to 6 months ahead. So if you can get ahead like that, then you can get the really, really nice places. But if you don't, there's still a lot of people who wait to the last minute or who don't know what they're going to do for Christmas or in January until a month or two before. So first of all, let's talk about what pet sitting is and how it can help you to make money. I'm going to share 2 different options you have with house and pet sitting, and then I'm going to share 3 tips on how you can become a very much in-demand pet sitter. So pet sitting is basically when you are taking care of someone's house and pets, either by dropping into their house to feed their pets on a regular, like morning or twice basis, or you're staying at their house, minding their gardens, minding their pets, making the house look lived in and secure, avoiding the burglaries that we all know happen and increase around Christmas time. And it's a very, very win-win situation. And that's one of the things that I love about it. It's very win-win. Pet owners save heaps of money having to put their pets in kennels, and they feel better knowing that their pets are happier to stay at home, or at least they're getting the attention that they otherwise wouldn't get at a kennel, right? And pet sitters get to care for all kinds of adorable pets and enjoy the peace and quiet of staying at a home alone in a new area that they can explore. So by caring for pets during the holidays, you're helping families and their pets while earning extra income to create your own holiday cheer and mini vacation, whether it's at just another town in your state, or another state in your country, or another country altogether. And yes, you can do this internationally, and I'm going to tell you how. Now, there are 2 different types of house and pet sitting that you can do. Option 1 is you can do it for free as an exchange. Option 1 is usually for the longer term, and it's a simple exchange that you stay in the house and take care of the pets for a longer period of time. Free full-time sitters, like I had been, often go for the longer term sits unless they are in between jobs and they're traveling around a lot, and they'll often choose holiday destinations. So like inner city homes or tourist places are really good for free long-term sits. And option 2 is that you can get paid for it. Option 2, as a paid service, is usually shorter, except at Christmas time when people get desperate and are looking for someone to not only take care of their multiple pets, but also to take care of their house. So option 2 is paid pet caring services. If you're only going away for a weekend and you have 5 dogs that would cost a fortune to put into a kennel, finding a paid sitter who can come to your home to feed and play with them might be a better option. As a paid sitter, the opportunities to earn are many. You have more options as a paid sitter. You could care for the pet at your own home, care for the pet at their home, drop in just to feed them, drop in to walk them, or even take care of them just during the day while the family is out traveling. So if you are in a vacation area and there's lots of other families there who are vacationing or they're gone for the day, you could be helping them out with their pets if you're in their city, right? So how do you find houses to pet sit? This is the most common question that I get asked. And to be honest, most of the past free sits that I did initially came from posting in large, active, locally based Facebook groups. And from there, I would build enough referrals that I no longer needed to search for sits. By the end of the 16 months of sitting that I did, I had people contacting me on pretty much a daily basis. But if you do that, I highly recommend also setting up a pet sitting profile on a secure pet sitting site like Trusted House Sitters so that you can collect referrals after each sit. Even if you find owners on Facebook, ask them if they are a member of any of the free house sit sites, and if they are, create and secure the booking on that site so that you can get the references from there. This will help you build a trustworthy reputation, and it'll give you a much greater chance of securing some amazing sits internationally. I had a friend who did this, and she was sitting at mansions throughout Europe, condos with rooftop pools, just absolutely beautiful homes that would have otherwise been very expensive Airbnb listings. Now, for paid sits, you can also go on to certain Facebook groups to advertise as a pet sitting service. But for those groups, make sure that you go to the ones that are okay with you being a business and advertising. Most of the house sitting local groups for free sits are not going to allow you to go on there and to advertise, right? So you need to find different types of Facebook groups if you're going to advertise as a paid sitter. Or you could go to one of the many paid sitting sites. In Australia, one of the most popular sites that I like to go on to find paid sits or short-term sits is PetCloud. PetCloud will have paid sits for not only house sitting over a weekend or sometimes even longer than that. There's people that you can find there who will pay for several weeks. But you can also find dog walking, drop-in sits, or having pets at your house so you can take care of them in your own backyard. Now, I want to share with you 3 of my top pet sitting tips that will help you become a very much in-demand pet sitter. Over the last 5 years, since my partner and I got our 2 dogs, we have had many free and paid sitters at our home, and we've always had a great experience with them. But there are some things that really stand out. First, the best sitters communicate well, sending at least one daily text or update to let us know how things are going. They'll send a photo of our dogs, not just sleeping on the sofa, but taking walks, playing, and looking happy and engaged. That's what pet owners want to see, right? That their fur babies are being cared for and well loved while they are away, and not just sitting on the couch with you watching TV or sitting around, right? It's best to take active photos of the dogs. Show that you're taking them out for walks, taking them to the park. Show that you're playing with them, giving them cuddles. Make the photos active. These are a lot more reassuring than seeing the dog sleeping on the couch. And I say this from personal perspective, having had sitters take pictures of my dogs and send to me, right? The active ones are always just a lot nicer to see. Secondly, good sitters leave the house as clean or cleaner than they found it. I always took pictures of everything on the tables and countertops so that I could put everything back just as I had left them, right? And I usually would spend all of the last day of the sit cleaning the entire house from top to bottom. So that's a really important thing that you will often be able to sell yourself better if you include that you are a clean and tidy person, and then be a very clean and tidy person. Be very mindful of how you're using everything in the house, where you're putting things. Make sure that you sweep, wipe things down. Don't leave any marks. Don't leave any signs that you were there. Make it cleaner than when you found it. That's usually the sign of a very good sitter. And finally, leave a thoughtful thank you gift. I also often left a bottle of wine or some fresh flowers and a thank you note for the owners of the longer sits that I did. It's always a comfort to find that after a long trip away from home, right? Seeing a very colorful bouquet and a gift always can make a good first impression when the pet owners come home. And it can clear any uncertainty that you were not a very thoughtful, conscientious sitter who cared. Because above all, a good sitter cares. They care about the service they are providing, they care a lot about the animals, and they care about giving the home and pet owners lots of assurance that their homes and pets are in good hands. So make sure that you demonstrate that, and soon you will find that you are in high demand. So are you ready to make money while traveling as a house and pet sitter? Overall, pet and house sitting is a fun and easy way to either earn some extra cash or spend some time away from home to explore a new area. As a mega animal lover and mama to 2 dogs of my own, I love these services so much, as they are not only helpful to pet owners, I feel that the pets usually prefer them over a kennel too. If you have any questions about pet sitting, feel free to email me. I'll be happy to get you started. And in the show notes of this podcast, I will leave a link to get 25% off the entry fee to join Trusted House Sitters, which is the one that I recommend for international free sits all around the world, and to get $10 off PetCloud, the site to get paid sits over the holidays. So I hope you have enjoyed this episode, and catch me again next week where we're going to go into Etsy SEO. So if you're a seller on Etsy, I'm going to share what I learned about SEO and how to get found in the Google search after 8 years of running my own Etsy shop years ago when I made Gothic and burlesque jewelry. Until then, thank you for listening and have a great week. Bye.